CCI, Crash Course Instrumentation, presents episode 30, Motor Starters, Contactors, Overload Protection and Control Power. Playlist, Instrumentation Fundamentals, Hook, the click that starts a plant. When you press Start and a conveyor hums to life, that sound begins with a contactor pulling in. Today, we open the motor starter bucket and make each piece simple and safe. What you will learn today. You will learn what a contactor is and how it differs from a small relay, how an overload relay protects the motor from overheating, what a control power transformer, CPT, does, how auxiliary contacts make logic without software, and how the start-stop loop routes power through a normally closed overload contact for safety. Motor starter in plain English. A basic starter has three main parts: a power-rated contactor, a thermal or electronic overload relay, and often a control power transformer to supply the proper coil voltage. The contactor makes and breaks motor current. The overload relay monitors motor heating and opens its small control contact if the current stays too high for too long. The CPT steps plant power to a safer, dedicated control voltage for the coil and push buttons. Contactors, the heavy switch. A contactor is a large air gap switch driven by a coil. When the coil energizes, three main contacts close to feed the motor. The contactor also carries auxiliary contacts, small NO and NC blades, used for logic like seal-in and interlocks. The coil voltage may be 120 volts alternating current, 24 volts alternating current, or 24 volts direct current. Always verify before wiring. Overload relays, saving the motor from heat. Overloads are not short-circuit devices. They protect against overcurrent over time. Thermal styles use heaters and bimetal elements. Electronic styles measure current electronically. When an overload trips, a small, normally closed contact in the control circuit opens, dropping the contactor coil and stopping the motor. After cooling or manual reset, that contact returns to closed, so you can restart safely. Control power transformer, power for the brainstem. The CPT isolates and supplies the contactor coil and pilot devices. A small fuse on the primary and secondary protects the control circuit. Many buckets include a selector to choose coil voltage. Label your control voltage right on the door. Start, stop loop, the classic ladder. Stop, push button. NC sits first in series, so any press removes coil power. Overload NC contact sits in series after stop to drop the coil on an overload trip. Start, push button. No, momentarily feeds the coil. A seal-in. No auxiliary contact from the contactor parallels the start button, so the coil holds after you release start. Result: positive stop, automatic dropout on overload, and reliable restart only when it is safe. Field checklist you can trust. Verify coil voltage on the nameplate before you energize. Confirm overload range matches motor full load current. Set dial is required. Test the stop push button first. Motor must drop immediately. Trip the overload and confirm the control circuit opens and requires reset. Check auxiliary contact labels. 13 to 14 EOR no, 21 to 22 EOR NC on many brands. Inspect CPT fusing and control circuit grounding. Apply a lockout/tagout before opening any starter. Common mistakes to avoid: mismatching coil voltage and control power. The contactor will not pull in, or worse, it burns. Bypassing the overload NC contact, you remove the motor's thermal protection. Forgetting the seal-in contact, motor only runs while holding start. Using auxiliary contacts beyond their small ratings, they are for control logic, not motor current. Mounting a CPT without proper fusing, a short in the control circuit can take out the transformer. Quick history nugget. Early factories automated lines with contactors and overload heaters, decades before programmable controllers. The simple start-stop ladder became a worldwide standard because it is fail-safe, visible, and easy to troubleshoot with a meter and a keen ear for the contactor's click. Wrap up and what is next? You can now open a motor starter and name the parts, trace the start-stop ladder, and explain how the overload protects the motor. In the next episode, we will reverse a motor safely using a pair of contactors with mechanical and electrical interlocks. Thanks. Special thanks to Tony Kopholt and the open source community for the incredible free curriculum that powers Crash Course Instrumentation.